I'm just going to start really quickly by saying a couple of things about our president. He'll join us in a few minutes to speak with you further. I don't know how much you know about him. He's a best-selling author, philosopher, economist, entrepreneur, poet, musician. He became very famous many years ago. He doesn't like us talking about this, but in music industry, he was a rock star. So yeah, that can give you a little bit of a hint of maybe the direction of the school. We have quite a few courses, as you may have seen, in the creative industries, but preparing students for leadership and management roles. Traditionally, if you always had to have an agent, or you had to have a manager or someone who was promoting you, or work for lots of years before you could get anywhere. So this is one of the things that our president is very interested in doing. And he's very passionate about putting students directly in contact with industry leaders. He's also written a book, which was a bestseller in many countries, been translated into 10 languages, called The School for Gods. And I have it here underneath my computer, so I will show it to you with as little disruption as possible. You may have this already. I think Annabelle can send you copies, which we have in PDF, and she can send you a copy. I think it's very important for students to know about our founder and about the educational philosophy when they're thinking about our school, about any school really, but in knowing if it's a good fit, about knowing the philosophy, and that it's very individual-centered educational approach. So I'm just going to read something from our president that I think will be relevant for all of our clients, whether they're young or old, and then I will turn everything over to our president. This would be for the industry leaders of tomorrow. So the hobby of humanity in the future will be personal improvement. Universities and schools will multiply to educate man, especially in economics and business, and everything from the pureness of the soul and of the body, kindness, justice, loyalty, forgiveness, and gratitude. The values that have been neglected and must be nourished in this direction, values such as courage, sincerity, and truth. Believing in ourselves, in our capabilities, and developing them in order to improve ourselves. Our system of values coincides with our economic destiny. This is true for an individual, for an organization, for a country, for civilization. The richer our system of values, the richer our economy will be. This equation tells us that we can have only the riches that our values allow us to have. So with that, I would like to turn things over to our president.
Nice to meet you. See all very familiar faces. Probably I will, my speech will be in Italian. What do you think?
No.
Okay.
No, please.
Okay, let's start from the motto of the European School of Economics, which is Visibilia ex Invisibilibus. This is, these 3 words compresses in time, all the philosophy of the school, from the invisible, the visible, from vision, reality, from inner states, outer events. I want you to understand as agents that we want you to work on special, very special students, because the European School of Economics is not for all and everybody. It is something very special, philosophically speaking. And we need people who can understand that education is a subversive activity. It has always been. Today, thanks internet, students are very prepared, ready to something extraordinary, and not for boring, tired, obsolete teaching. Then students are looking for something that is beyond all the knowledge that today is circulating in the world. And I believe that they are looking for truth, for goodness, for beauty, and not for something that can bore them and makes them tired. I believe that we have to give them something that goes beyond the ordinary schools and universities. And the European School of Economics, since 30 years ago, built and created a very special program to have students that can really know how to do, how to transform the outer reality. And all the revolutions in the world have tried to change the outer events and circumstances and reality outside ourselves, but they were all failures. And I believed and I studied and dedicated all my life to understand how to change the outer reality. I went through many lifetimes, I can say, from music to business to education through technology. And you know, they are all failures. You cannot move a needle in the outer world. Then I understood, and I was able to achieve this understanding that the world outside ourselves is just a projection of our own being. Then the education has to intervene on the inner being of the students and not on the outer events and the reality. We have to let them understand that they are already prepared to face life with what they already got from all socials and media and the internet. They have to learn how to enter into a world which is, from my point of view, the world of causes. And this has been neglected and forgotten and buried in the innermost corner of our being. Then this is what circulates, what the European School of Economics breeds. You know, that the education means ex luco, which means to bring out and not to inject in, put in the heads of young people. We have to allow them to come out with their own dreams, with their own uniqueness, which is there, ready. This is our only task, to let them come out with their own uniqueness. And this is something that the European School of Economics is doing since 30 years. To allow them to work in great companies, to have great responsibilities, and to be international, you have to expand your inner being, which is the very cause of whatever you are going to know, to do, and to have. You cannot have without an inner responsibility. If you have, and this goes beyond your inner being, you will lose everything sooner or later. Then your inner being has to be fed, nurtured, and not your having, not the outer reality. Then today, knowledge coming from outside is just a failure. We have to abandon many ideas, false ideas, many second-hand knowledge that is not in line with the speed of the world today. We are the school that can give to students this inner sense of immortality, which is very, very, very important for a successful life and to win all the battles and challenges that are on our way. You know, today students come already prepared. They can know anything, you know, just pushing a button, just, you know, clicking. They can enter into any field of life. Then, which is the role of a professor or a teacher? It's not the relationship with this distance, a sort of emptiness to fill up. Today, professors and students are partners. They are studying as partners, part of a company, part of an institution, where many times students can teach professors many things that sometimes our repetitiveness, our habits, our false knowledge and understanding can really make us obsolete, tired, and we don't do the right job. Then you see, then the students comes to the European School of Economics as a teacher, not just a student. We have a department which we call ex-duco, and that is a relationship that has the students with the school. He has to bring all these expertise and all his hobbies and you know, knowledge to the school, and to share it with the professors and students. Then each student is a teacher and a learner. This is very, very, very important. Then, you know, the students and the professors are a relation peer to peer, and they are just, you know, teaching and learning from each other. This is very important in a school, and I am sure that the conventional schools and the universities will disappear in the next decades if they don't enter into some other dimension. We cannot teach something that has been chewed and digested by millions and billions of people. We have to give them something new, something that they really are looking for. And that is all in their own beings. The thing is that, you know, parents, the environment, teachers, professors, they forgot to give them, to let them to come out with their own dream. The European School of Economics is the school for happiness, because we really know that students have to come out with their own dreams and not to be filled up with useless knowledge. I believe that from any student, every student can come out their own inner knowledge, which is there and waiting just to come out. You see, schools and universities lost their mission. And we have to understand this. You are agents, probably you are just selecting people for all schools, and I understand this. But for the European School of Economics, the students selected by you, they have to deserve the European School of Economics. And this is not, from my part, a presumptuousness. It is the truth. Our students are really looking for something extraordinary. And when I talk to them, because I don't teach them anything, they will come to the principles and ideas of the school just by themselves. They understand that behind all the ordinary subjects that the business school has to teach, there is something special. And this is what they are looking for. I will send you letters that are really emotional, moving, where students were really touching the inner essence of the European School of Economics.
Hello, buonasera.
Buonasera.
Buonasera, è grande piacere conoscerla, anche se io sono una parte proveniente qua dall'est del mondo, diciamo. My question is, I'm working currently in Baku, Azerbaijan, and here the culture of the business, the way that it's run, it's still very focused on more just doing and a bit less with being, as you have explained. So my question is how to make sure to transmit this message to students who maybe do not see it immediately, who do not see the importance of this, I would call it a holistic education for their future businesses and for their future. So any advice on how to approach them and how to make them see how important it is to be responsible, to take care of everyone and not just to have this this one goal in their heads.
Yes, good. You see, the school has to let them to have this U-turning towards themselves, to see that all and everything is coming from within and not from without. This is just a very simple principle. Whatever happens out there has to have your inner consent to happen. Then, this is something that no school or universities can tell you, because that is, to turn upside down the conventions and the traditions. You have to understand that the outer world is as you dream it. The outer world is just taking the shape of your inner being and not vice versa. Then we forgot the real world, which is within ourselves. It is not spirituality. Be sure I am not talking about the spiritual world. I'm talking of a world of doing, really making. And this is a world that we neglected. We have just to tell them that the very principle for a successful life is that, whatever happens out there has to have an inner approval from within. Otherwise, it cannot happen. And then the slightest change within your inner being will move mountains in the outer world. Then if you try to move a needle in the outer world, you will fail. If you try to directly intervene on the outer world, you will see that all the revolutions fail. You have to intervene within yourself and understand that all and everything is coming from within. Then if you are in charge of yourself, if you are observing yourself, if you are aware of yourself, you will see that the outer world will reflect and respect what you are. Now the outer world is a mess. It's something that we do not understand how to deal with. Just because we lost, I can call it the portable paradise, something that we carry within ourselves. Each of us possesses this inner vision that can transform the outer reality. That's why I told you that you have to be special as agents, to select special people for us. We don't want a crowd of people coming to us. We want just very small number of students, as we did 30 years ago, and we still are doing today. A very small number of students that we can dedicate our life to them. We want to know name, surname, nickname, and etc. of the students. We want to know their families, their family business, and whatever, because we have to intervene on something that they forgot, that their parents forgot, which is their inner being, their inner tree. This is very, very, very important. And in the future, schools and universities will do what the European School of Economics is doing today.
Thank you so much for the answer. It is very, let's say, on point, and it is more or less something that I have thought of, maybe not exactly expressed in the words, either in my head or to anyone else like that. But yeah, here I do see sometimes in students that they are trying to kind of put together their inner self and what is happening within with what is going on without, but being as young as they are, it's they still get lost and then just roll with the flow and go more with what is happening around them, because everyone is still more focused on the outside world and all that.
You see, having depends upon being. This is the revolution. Having, possessing, depends upon being. And this is the great revolution. If the students, you just pronounce this, the students understand. He, she understand. We shouldn't make a great effort to let them to turn upside down this paradigm. They understand. And this is what we are going to tell them. See the world as something that you produce, you create, you project, and not something you are projected by and created by. This is very, very important. Otherwise, you will go in life believing that you are just a number in the midst of a crowd, and you lose your individuality, your great individuality, which means indivisibility. You lose your unity, inner unity, which is yours, which belongs to each of us. We have to return to this unity, to the integrity, not to achieve, to remember integrity. And you will see that just by remembering integrity, we will have a great life, a very beautiful life. It's very easy to return to something so simple, my friends, very simple. You know, that the world out there is waiting for you. is waiting for you because you have to tell it what to do or not to do, and not waiting for someone to tell you. This is very, very important. Then the European School of Economics is a school of freedom, to let you be free from any conventions and memory, past knowledge and teachings. So you have to just breathe something that is very close to your inner being. And this is a dream. This is very, very important for students. They are already mature. They are already prepared to come out with their own uniqueness. It's the school should do, the school or university should do just, just to extract, to let it come out, and not to put in. This is very, very important for a school. And the professors have to understand that they are having a partnership with the students, and not anymore this distance between someone who knows and someone who has to learn. There is not anymore this relationship. No. Professors are going to school to learn from students, and the students to teach and learn. This is very, very important. We have students that they have such a preparation that it's impossible to teach a student 18, 19 years old, for 3, 4, 5 years, something so useless. They lose time and energy, and they become adulterate adults. They lose their dream. And this is what the conventional schools and universities are doing today. They are, yes, subversive, but just against their, the students' own creativity and ideas and dream. This is very important to understand. And you, as agents, have the arduous task to tell them that they are studying for something in 3 or 4 years, something that is just they will remain unemployed, because automation, computers, robots, virtual reality is doing, today something, that in 3 or 4 years the entire reality will change. People will be jobless. They will find themselves without any job because computers and robots are occupying their expectations. They are studying for something that, they will find in the future really anachronistic, useless. They have to study for something that will put them in a world which is already conquered within themselves. They are already owner of that world, because that world is just a reflection of their inner being. This is very, very important to understand. They are not going there to learn. They are going there to remember. They are going to schools and universities to remember their very nature.
the students who study in ESE, actually they go through a different way of learning. That's what I believe, they get a different methodology, and so the learning is a very different way, and when they come out to the world, how different they find, in comparison with others, how at least how they should be, like, the expectation from you when you have your school running, you have a philosophy behind it is very different from so many others, and you want that those who come into your campus actually should feel, and they should actually make use of that ambience and come out. So maybe there can be like two questions. One is like how they are coming out, and what is your expectation about them?
The outer world has completely changed. We cannot believe that the world as it was before can still survive to this historical period of time. It's everything will change. You will see that everything will change. I mean, schools for masses, they probably will continue, but they are doing a very limited job, and it is just for people who want to depend and be employed, and this will be very difficult in the next future. I'm talking to people who want to be in charge of their own life, want really to govern first their inner life, and then the outer life and the others. Then this is why, it's schools of masses. There are many. You can find that in every country. I've been in Turkey lately, 3 months ago, and there was a school of 30,000 students. 30,000 students. I mean, we are not competing with that. We are just something else. That's why I told you, if you meet someone who deserves the European School of Economics, you will recognize. You will recognize him or her. Then we are looking for special students who are not something great. They were great in their high schools. They are great in their own dreaming. They are dreaming something that is out of ordinary life. This is why, it's probably I'm doing a bad advertising to my school, just because, but we want just, very different people who are looking for a different teaching, and which is something that offer them, the possibility to see the world from another point of view, from a high point of view. And that is what makes us, fearless. In a world where fear governs, that makes us, leader in a world where everybody wants to depend upon something, government, parents, a job. We want people that really are aspiring to become free. Speaking of people who are really doing, and doing comes from inner self, from within, and not from without. You can teach all the knowledge of this world, which they find on internet. Surely they find on internet. But you have to give them something that no school or universities can give them. And that is the return to something that is their own. It is something that belongs to them, and not something that they can achieve or be taught. They have to return to something special, which is already within themselves. And those students, when they come to your agency or you meet them, you will know who is part of the European School of Economics. There's one amongst millions, but it doesn't matter. That one will lead humanity. India is very close to what I'm saying. You know, your philosophy, your
true.
religion.
Many things that you say, it correlates to what.
That's right. Right. Then it's not difficult for students coming from India to understand what
I think
talking
they
about.
might easily fall into the philosophy, without
Right.
much.
Right. And you see, I read the great books from India. It's one of those is in my heart since a long time, and it is the Bhagavad Gita. It's a great manual for business, and you don't teach that in your schools. That is, and that is a shame because there are great manuals, great books that can really tell you how to deal with the outer world. And that is what we really want to know. And nothing can tell us how to be successful or to deal with the others. Because the others are just an extension of you yourself. Then if you understand this, you cannot do anything wrong against the others. Because if you understand that the others are just an extension, the others are you yourself. I mean, you have just to intervene on your inner being, and you will see that treating you the right way, it means that you are doing well and good for the others and for the entire world. This is very, very important. This is something that will eliminate criminality, will eliminate poverty. And this is very, very important. If you are rich inside yourself of creativity, of ideas, then if you return to your to your integrity, you will see that the world around you will reflect all this. Then this is the real understanding, and not to try outside yourself to find something or to, let's say, to monkey something or someone to believe that you can become the same person or the same thing that person achieved. That is not so. You have to remember your uniqueness. And when you just are very close to something real within yourself, you will see that life outside yourself will present itself with success and victory. This is what we should do in schools and universities. Just to remind students that they are creator and dreamer of their own reality.
It's good to know, but I think many people know about it, but very rarely we actually practice it. So that is a big the difference.
Yeah, because You see, it is not to achieve something, it is to remember something, then it belongs to you. This is what we lost, believing that someone, some teacher, some professor can give us something that we do not possess. That is, misunderstanding and misleading. We have to return to our own being, to understand that there is something unique within you yourself that will, when you touch it, it will manifest, it will express naturally, without any effort. You see, our professors and teachers are teaching and all the subjects and topics of all other universities and business schools. But within their teachings, there is this breath that has to circulate, this way of breathing that has to circulate invisibly in the school. We are not teaching them, how to go against the conventions and the traditions. We are giving them all the things that universities and business schools are giving them. But they have to discover that behind all this, there is something special that will lead them to success. Then it is not the outer knowledge that will make you successful or to lead others. It is your inner understanding that will create everything for you. I will send you the book and you will see that you will appreciate it because it's very close to your philosophy.
Yeah, please send.
And it is...
We'll read and give you a feedback.
Yeah, it is your philosophy seen from a Western vision.
True, yeah.
The world is as you dream it.
True.
This is very, very important. The world is as you dream it. And this is, a shift, an upside down movement that will soon arrive to all schools and universities.
Maybe just one more question. At what point, like in your life, you started to have this kind of philosophy and the plan to probably shift to education? That the stage is probably, maybe you have gone through your life and at a certain point you realize that you realize things and then you want to apply and probably share it with others. So maybe what?
Yes. I was searching, for something that could give me an understanding of what was going on in the world. I wanted really to find someone or something that could tell me how to change the outer reality. And I went through many failures. And I tell you, I was very successful in my life, very successful in the music business, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, and as an educator, and whatever. I was you can say very fortunate. But, I had to understand how I could maintain this permanently, the success, this state of victory. And, I understood that the outer life could never tell you anything or give you any technique or system or method to let you understand how to change the outer reality. In one word, the very cause of what I am trying to convey to you and to the school and to all my businesses is disappointment. When you are disappointed, that is the very beginning of your own success. You have to be disappointed with what they taught you, with what they told you, and you have to abandon many things that life taught you. And one of those things is something that we love so much, which is suffering. We have to abandon suffering. We have to give up pain and suffering within ourselves. And when you are in the absence of suffering, conflicts within yourself, you will see that the outer life will follow. This is very important to give to young students, not just young, but also to adults, that they are really, like in this very moment, they really do not know what to do. And we believe that the government can give us some answers, or our family, or friends, or our job, but you will never find any answer in the outer world. The answer is you yourself. The solution is you yourself and nobody else. You cannot ask for help outside yourself. You have to do everything from within. And when the moments, very difficult moments come, you have to turn towards yourself, and there you will find the answer and the solution. We are not used to that. We are not taught to enter within ourselves and see that the very cause of all and everything is within and not outside. Then this has to be understood in a world, in a humanity that has to survive to moments, like this one we are living. We cannot go on as before. It's impossible. Education will change, economics, the economy will change, and everything will change. We are still living in a primordial medicine, believing that something from outside can cure us, can heal us, and that is impossible. We have to understand that the only one who can heal you and cure you is you yourself. Then we are all victims of something they call the virus, believing that it is coming from outside, but that is just an excuse, just to justify our inner fears and our inner, let's say, impotence. How to read, the outer world as something that is telling you all the truth. If something is wrong within yourself, the world appears as a monster, as something violent, aggressive. But that is just what you are projecting. If you return to yourself, you will see that the world is not violent. The world is not unjust, but you will see that all the injustice and violence is coming from within, from you. And then this is very difficult to accept. But I talk to students, and I don't impose anything to them, not even to our professors, who are very good, they are doing their job, but just, to tell them that everything is coming from you, and you cannot expect anything from outside, because the external world depends upon you yourself.
Okay, so just I have one question to Elio, sir. Actually, right now, everybody knows that this pandemic hits all over the world, and mostly it affects the Italy also. I mean, the Spain, Italy, just in the high volume, it affects the coronavirus. So my question is that, sir, students who are interested for the Italy, because I have also many queries just coming for the Italy studies for the ESE also. What are the major just factor just to convince them that now Italy is safe and you are safe to study over there? And now what are the major key points, sir?
You know, I talked to them, and I talked also to many alumni, people who graduated 20, 25 years ago. And they never showed any sign of fear. No one of them. You know why? Because fear has disappears from within myself. And if it is true that the world is as you dream it, as you want it, then in this moment, I am talking to a certain number of people. Then if you just turn towards yourself, you will see that there is no fear within you. And we have to live, we have to go on in a state of fearlessness. Always, whatever happens outside ourselves. This is a very, very, very important, because fearlessness creates an incredible world. Fear creates monsters, aliens, and sometimes, pirates. But our students are fearless because they know that the world is just reflecting and is following. If they enter into fear, they have to stay there and deal with it until it dissolves. When the fear disappears from within, everything goes right. Also, if you are asking for a loan to the bank, you have to be aware of that answer within yourself. If you are in fear or in a sort of deciding if that loan can be given to you or not, you have to turn towards yourself and see that yes or no is within yourself. Then if you have a no within yourself, you will see that the bank, more than the bank, the computer says no.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. Anyway, thank you, sir. Just thanks for your answer, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really great, sir. Thank you very much.
You see, we have some competitors in Italy, which are probably they are hundreds years old. They are still, giving, all the performances and the teachings, and that is, I think you as agents, you should be very much aware of this, because their lives depend upon you. Because if you address them towards a school where they consider you as a number, you will end in sort of failure and defeat. Then if you give them the right direction, and that is very, very important, then you should really understand who is the founder of the school, and to talk to professors and to see that there is a sort of mediocrity in the school of masses. I'm sorry to say so, but this is the truth. You cannot deliver people in the schools which they consider them just one amongst many. You cannot do this. This is your responsibility, the future and the destiny of your let's call them clients, students.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
what today I wanted to convey to you, it was just this, that we don't believe very much in the outer teaching and knowledge, but we believe very much in what belongs to the students naturally. And this is what all schools should do, just to extract, to bring out the very dream of the students, and to realize that the world is as it is because you yourself are as you are, not vice versa. This is very important to remember. The world is as it is because you are as you are. If we are able to convey this to a student, and he will incarnate this principle, he will have a great destiny, a great career, great future. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you to be here.